You know, at all times, what we look to do here is really get to know how folks are able to elevate from, let's say, hello to yes, how they could build out multiple businesses, how they could have an impact on the world and make it a better place. And at the same time, what are the rituals? What are the action steps? What do they do on a daily basis that helps them get an edge for themselves to be able to accomplish all these goals? So for today, folks, we have Marla Viturello with us. Hey, Marla.
Hello. Good. How are you?
Great.
Nice to officially meet you again.
It's so awesome that she's here today. Can't wait to dig into her story. You know, when we have our community here, it's really about entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. It's about folks that are, you know, let's say if they have a 9-to-5 job, but they really want to kind of, you know, create their own financial wealth or generational wealth. What do they do from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night? Right. You know, what does their world look like post-COVID? What are some of the things they could do to really have an impact on the world and make it a better place? Yeah. So, you know, just jamming here with Marla, learning a lot of good information that, you know, we can't wait to share with you folks. Let me just ask you, like, we're going to get into a lot. Yeah. But, like, where were you originally from and how did it all start for you? Those early years.
Well, so, like, the early years, so I'm not going to tell you exactly how old I am, but it was a while ago when I was born, many decades ago. But I'm originally from South Philadelphia. Yep. I always say born and raised because that's where all of my family was from. And then my parents, my father was from Sicily, Palermo. Wow. So he came to Philadelphia also.
Did he come from, like, was he born in Sicily and then came over?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, so they spoke Italian at the house every day?
Well, my father did. My mother was an Italian American.
From Philly?
From Philly.
Okay.
So, you know, you have this like European guy over here on this side who's, you know, Italian is his first language or Sicilian because they have their own language.
They do.
And then my mother, who's like the feisty Italian, you know,
Western, you know, American version. Quick question. Yes. Their families, you're growing up with grandparents on each side. Yes. What was those dynamics and those distinctions like?
So that's really a great question. So my grandfather on my father's side had passed away.
Rest in peace.
Yes. So they didn't speak any English at all.
Yep.
So I would sit there with my grandmother as a kid and my father would just say, just smile and hold her hand, give her a kiss. But I said, I need an interpreter. Like, where's
you didn't
the
understand.
interpreter?
You didn't, okay.
Yeah. So my father would sit in the middle, and he wouldn't pay attention to half the stuff. So she starts talking to me in Italian, and I don't even understand anything that she's saying. Yeah. A couple words here and there. But my dad's like, oh, she just asked, but I don't even know if he was really translating the right
never know,
stuff.
Right? Yeah.
Or if he was saying, like, he was a jokester, so he probably told her, you know, I was going to tattoo my back or something. I don't know. But anyway, she was a wonderful woman. She died in her late 80s, but did not speak a lick of English. My mother's parents were very, very much
So you were connected
Italian.
to them.
Yes.
You were a
little bit more connected.
Yeah, understood.
But in my later years, I'm more connected to my dad's side of the family just because I see them more often.
Awesome.
You know? So,
do you have any siblings?
So I did have one sibling.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that too. Her name was Judy, and she passed away when she was 28.
Rest in peace.
Yes. So we'll talk about that.
Awesome.
You know, it was a cancer diagnosis, and you know, we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, so that was my family dynamic, and my parents migrated us out of South Philly.
Okay. Now, so you're born there. First 5-10 years, like, did you go to grammar school in South? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, like I basically went to kindergarten, preschool, and then
Catholic or public?
Well, when we moved back,
I knew that.
We did the public, and then my mother's like, boom, Catholic school. You know, it's like a little taste of it. My parents,
it's an East Coast thing.
Yeah, you know, my parents went to Southern High School, which was like, it's an absolute zoo. Like, you couldn't even go there today.
Yeah,
like, you couldn't send any, in my opinion, it is like, it's just, there's crime every day.
There's a chance of getting killed.
There's a chance of getting shot.
There's some kind of, just like you did lotto, there's a chance you can get killed going to high school.
Yes, and there's a 50% chance if you go out and even wait for your kid, you're probably going to get shot too.
Your tires could get slashed, you get mugged for $50 or something. It's available.
You should beg for that to only happen. Okay? So, but and it's so sad because that's where I'm from. Like, South Philly was just such a great community, a lot of Italian Americans, a lot of people who sort of migrated over.
You see a lot on Twitter and on Facebook. Like, they'll do like 60-second clips of, like, you know, what the city looks like right now.
It's so different
after COVID.
It's so different. And
very sad.
You know, even Center City, which is, you know, a little bit more upscale. And by the way, South Philly goes up to City Hall. It's not even a mile. The stadiums are down here. Yeah. You hit City Hall, and then this is all the business district. But then you got North Philly, West Philly.
Got it.
You got to be, you know,
gotta be careful.
Yeah, those areas you can't really go. Kensington, Port Richmond, unfortunately, all those places are.
You just don't want to be walking down the block
right
aimlessly.
Right.
without a purpose.
They're trying to build up like Port Richmond and Kensington areas, buying real estate. They have, big people coming in there and buying and trying to invest.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're 2 blocks away from somebody, making a drug deal or something of that sort. So unfortunately,
taking your car.
That's the city. Yeah. So my parents got us out to Deptford.
Now, how far is that outside of Philly? Just so I know.
20 minutes.
Okay. World of a difference, though.
Yeah.
Different.
My mother was like, hell no, I won't go. She's a city girl.
Yep.
Like, don't bring me near a damn farm. I'm going to be near a pig farm.
And it's amazing, folks. You're 20 minutes outside of Philly, even New York City.
Yeah.
20-minute drive. You're in. There's farms. There's cows and horses and all kinds of animals.
It's complete insanity. Yeah. I lived down the street from a horse farm and a pig farm.
Wow.
It was very stinky at night, though. It was like, because they would burn trash and all types of stuff like in the farms. I don't know if that's even legal that they do that, but it is what it is. The thing about Deptford is that you're about 20 minutes from the city.
Yep.
You're about 45 minutes to an hour to Atlantic City.
Yep.
And just a little under 2 hours to New York.
So here, Red Bank, 50 minutes Philly, 50 minutes Manhattan, 50 minutes.
Oh, yeah. So you guys are
New York City.
Yeah. So you're right in the middle of all that. It's even better.
Yeah.
Your location.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. So
now you're grammar school into high school, still in that area?
My father, then it
was is there a purpose in your life? Like, are you starting to see like what you want to do? Some things that stood out, things that happened or didn't happen, or? I
think that, so I always became interested in science and medicine.
Really?
That was my biggest thing.
Even as a young kid?
Even as a young kid.
Wow.
Even, I always wanted to
Was it a natural?
The instincts just kind of kick in.
Got it.
Where you start playing baby dolls and they got a boo-boo and then you want to be the person to fix the boo-boo and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
My father was a contractor, of course,
Was he a good businessman though?
He was a really nice businessman.
Got it. Was he smart with money?
No, that's where my mother came in.
Okay. But did they balance each other? So he just gave her the check?
Well, and she managed the businesses.
That's what I'm saying.
He was such a good guy. He would come and do a job at your house and be
charge.
like, Rob, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about
that kind
it.
of stuff. So, but he had a wonderful business.
Beautiful.
He did well. Thank God my mother ran
You know why I'm asking that though? I don't mean to cut you off because listen, moms and dads, if mom is running the business because dad just doesn't ask people for money, and mom is not doing the right thing with money, that causes a whole, we see that in planning all the time.
Oh yeah.
That causes chaos. That's why I ask these questions because I want to find out who you are.
Yes.
You
want to see like where my genes are routed from here. So my father, he had a great personality, very laid back. My mother was more of like quick wit, like just all over the place. The cityite, like she just knew everything was like marked down in her books. Like she knew everything. So she kept all of that together. Thank God for her because, my dad was so nice and sweet. You
speak about both of your parents beautifully, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
The elevation when you talk about your mom's, let's call it process mastery, I could see, how that's affected you. And I don't really know you that well.
No, absolutely.
But just hearing you talk about that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, she was an amazing woman.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I'm sure we'll get into who she really was.
Yeah.
Where did you go to college?
So I started. So from high school, I actually did 2 years in community college, which I really do recommend. I know that people always say, oh, you should go to a big university, you should do this. And in some instances, I think that is the right thing.
Very rare.
But if you don't know at 18 years old,
what
you want to do the rest of your life?
Yep.
How are you going to go into a program that is specific academically to take those courses that are going to set you up for whatever you want to do?
And pay the money that goes with not knowing what you want to do from 18, 19, and 20.
Yeah. So
or get student loans.
Exactly.
It's not worth it.
So I went to Camden County Community College.
But why did mom and dad tell you that? Is that something you did? Like, what was the reason? That's obviously an intelligent move. I'm just wondering, how that happened.
I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to be involved with science and medicine. I just didn't know if I wanted to be a nurse, if I wanted to go to med school, if I wanted to, go into physical therapy or chiropractic. I knew I just wanted to take science courses.
You had a purpose already at that point.
I did.
Just didn't have the distinctions.
Not to mention, my parents were, not big on the go away to college at 18.
Got it.
Because
strict family?
Oh, God, yeah.
Home at 10 o'clock at night?
Oh, my God.
No sleepovers?
No.
Boyfriend not until after college?
Like, he will cut him.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah. I mean,
seriously. Now I know the whole dynamic. I'm not. You're my neighbor in Bayonne. I know exactly. I grew up in Bayonne, New Jersey. I know who you are. Yes.
So my dad was very strict.
Yep.
So I could, when I was older, come home after 10 o'clock. I just couldn't leave if it was
she
dark
still
out.
can't come home at 10 o'clock at night.
It was ridiculous. You know, if the street lights were on, I was home.
Yeah.
If not, they came looking for you, which you don't want them coming.
No, you're in trouble if that happens.
No.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. And, you know, my mom was a hairdresser originally before she started running my father's businesses.
Wow. So she had the social skills.
Yes. So you have the hairdresser and the contractor.
It's actually, it's a natural fit, right?
I loved it, yes.
It's a natural fit.
My sister and I, you know, my parents were pushing college, like, you know. Like
now, age difference between you and your sister?
2.5 years.
Older, younger?
Older. She was older than me.
She's older than you. Got it. Was she a good big sister?
Yeah.
Did she like show you the way, some of the secrets, some of the tricks? Like, was it, yeah?
So she was tough. She was like a tough cookie. I was like, so I was the do-gooder.
Yeah.
I was the one who, you know, if my parents said be home at 10.
You were home at 9:45.
I said 9:59, 9:45. Okay, you got me. And my sister would be the one who came home at 10:30, 11:15. My mom had to go out and find her, and you know, she's smoking on the corner. My mother's like, get in the effing car. I know I can't curse on these things, but so that was kind of the dynamic, you know.
Yep.
As far as you know, my sister she was like the wild child.
Yep.
You know, she'd be the person that was like out late, testing the boundaries. My parents would actually have a party. And me, the whole time, I'm praying the rosary on the side, like, oh my God, please don't get caught. Because, you know. Yeah. So we had a very unique relationship.
Yep.
And she later on became a pharmacist.
Wow.
Which none of us saw. I know. None of us saw that coming.
Yeah.
Because she didn't do that great in high school.
Yep.
Wasn't interested in science. Wasn't interested in anything. We thought she wasn't even going to go to college, you know. And all of a sudden she's like, I want to be a pharmacist. And we were like, okay.
Everyone like held their breath. Like, we
were like, all right.
Held on tight.
Not that we didn't believe in her. We know she could do it.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know, like once you enter
she found out what she wanted.
Yeah. She went to Temple Pharmacy School.
Okay.
You know, was going back for her degree, you know, her higher degree, her PharmD.
Yep.
And, you know, and I went to nursing school.
So you went 2 years community, then you found yourself in nursing school.
Yes.
Your older sister at that point was kind of into Temple, and she knew she wanted to be a pharmacist. So it was kind of like there was synergies there.
It was cool. Yeah. No pun intended. Yeah. Synergy Pharmacy later on in life.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yes. So then, ironically, the two of us moved.
Where did you go to college? I'm sorry. Did you stay in like
Methodist School of Nursing?
Got it.
So 2 years of community.
Yeah.
Methodist School of Nursing.
Got it.
Got my RN there, and then went to the advanced program at Thomas Jefferson.
Okay, understood.
Got the BSN there.
Yep.
And I even went on for my master's in education and leadership.
Wow.
And I started teaching.
Why education and leadership? That's a what was going on? Because did you like there had to be some kind of things you were starting to see that you were gaining traction on to think like that.
So actually a lot of this stuff kind of synonymously or, you know, in sync with what was going on with my family dynamic. My sister at 25 became pregnant.
Okay. Married?
No.
How come I knew that?
Yes, I know.
How come I knew that?
So we had like the most concealed
Can we just
baby.
talk about how come I knew?
Because I told you she was a wild child. She was like, you know.
Listen, mom and dad got to be, you know, hairdresser, you know, dad, a construction guy came from Sicily, older sister, wild child, you know, younger sister coming in early every day. And oh, by the way, she got pregnant before they got married. Okay.
Exactly.
Non-judgment either, by the way.
No.
I know this is my world.
Right? So what happens is she comes home, she tells us she's pregnant.
Does she like sit everybody down?
Well, I found out
Or did you
first,
find that? Yeah.
She did the test up in the bathroom.
Yep.
But the caveat to this whole thing is he was Irish.
I'm Irish.
Okay. But listen.
Irish.
I got to tell you. So, you know, when you're from a really strict Italian family, I mean, we have Irish people in our family.
I understand.
But back in the day, you know, it was kind of like, you got to have an Italian last name. You got to have macaroni on Sunday.
What was his last name?
Newman. Right? Scott Newman. He's a great guy, by the way. He's a great
guy. Of course he is. I know he is.
Yeah,
he's Irish.
Yeah, of course. So, which makes my niece half Irish, and my dad's like, you know, the bloodlines. We were Italian, and you know, there's Irish in here now.
Did they get married?
Okay. So they were engaged.
Okay.
It didn't work out. The relationship wasn't really good. And she became sick right after she had the baby. Sorry. So 6 weeks after she had the baby, her name is Francesca. She's gorgeous, beautiful soul. God bless her. She's amazing.
How old is she now?
She's 24. So
do you have a good relationship with her?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's my baby girl. So I love her.
Awesome.
She's like, I became like her mom,
of course.
you know, very early on in many ways. And we still are so connected.
Awesome.
So, and the funny thing is she's a spitting image of my sister.
So she reminds you of your sister like all the time?
Like how she walks,
wow,
how she talks,
that's
how
gotta feel
everything.
Like
it does. It's a gift.
Yeah.
It is, she is a gift to me. And I can't explain how much I love this kid. The only thing is she's not as crazy as my sister, which thank God.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, my sister had a temper. You would have loved her.
Did she fight like people and like pull hair and stuff like that?
God.
Did she have to fight people for you?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
or protect you along the way. Because were you fighting? I think you were probably
I got
good.
One fight in school.
Did you win?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I'm not going to fight somebody I can't win unless it's
she understood the competition. She definitely pick and chose her fight the right way. Philly style.
Yes. So actually that girl who I fought.
She's not your best friend?
No.
Oh.
No, I actually ran into her not even that long ago.
What did she say? She's still damaged?
So I was seeing somebody in high school.
Yep.
And then she went after the guy.
Okay.
And,
that's what
you had. So I dumped him. And then I had to punch her.
You had to set the record straight.
Yeah.
Because no one messes with your guys.
You just don't do that.
Doesn't happen.
I mean, it was bad.
Yeah. So then you whipped that ass. Yeah. And then you saw her the other day and what happened?
No, not the other day. Like, thank God, like the other month. And
did she want a rematch?
I don't know. She was a little scared because she came out of, we were at a bar restaurant and she came out of the stall that was like right next to me. And she was like, Marla?
And you were like, yeah.
I was like, yeah, you want some of this? No, I'm just kidding. She was like, kind of like, oh my God, I don't know what to do because I haven't seen her since high school.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
It's all good. It's a good story.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your sister.
Yes. So then, oh, by the way, then my sister that Monday, like after
you beat her up,
then she took over. Yeah.
Oh, she beat her up?
So, yeah. She's like,
really?
Never come near my sister or anything like that. And she didn't have to do that, but she threw an extra one in.
That must have been a tough couple of years for this girl in school.
Yeah. It was
a lot of therapy.
Rough month.
Yeah. It happens. Some people, listen, it happens. You know, you got to ask yourself, what did you do to make it happen?
She initiated it.
You got to own your side of the street first.
That's right.
Be accountable, good, better, and different for some of your action steps.
Yeah. If you initiate something, be prepared to have it finished by somebody else.
Stand by it.
That's it. Earn it. Own it.
Yes.
Whatever you have to do.
I agree.
So then my sister gave birth to beautiful Francesca. So
what was your sister's name? I'm sorry.
Judy.
Judy. Got it.
Yes. And 6 weeks after, Hodgkin's lymphoma. Went through a
What happened?
Yes.
Would she wake up tired, sick? Was there like, what was?
She was having night sweats, little cough. And then I'll never forget.
Blood work?
Yeah, she had the blood work done, x-ray. And I'll never forget, she stood at the top of the steps and was feeling the top part of her clavicle. And she said, do you feel this? And I said, yeah, what is it? You know, I said, it feels like just like a lump. Now I'm in nursing mode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's not movable. She's having night sweats. But as a student in medicine or nursing, you automatically, did you ever hear like the nursing school mentality? They say that people are crazy when you're in nursing school because whatever you learn about that day, like you automatically have.
Everybody has it.
Like I thought I had lupus.
Got it.
I thought,
okay, that makes sense though. It does make sense.
Picking up a medicine bottle and reading the side effects. So you're like, oh, I'm definitely gonna, get nausea and vomiting.
It's no different than when you go on Google today and you read something and all of a sudden you have that same thing.
Do not Google anything.
Yes, it's probably not smart.
Okay, that's going to be my catch. Do not Google anything.
Don't do it.
Right. So I was saying to her, I said, well, don't react, like, let's see what, and then
was she nervous though? Did she sense?
Knew. She knew. She was really very smart, very in tune.
Yeah.
And it probably developed at some point during her pregnancy.
How do you know when it's developing though? Is there signs? Like for anyone listening right now, like,
yeah.
Like if you could go back to when this happened.
Right.
Is there anything, we can talk God's will. Is there anything that could have been a sign that you could have read something that maybe changed the course and got ahead of it? Is that even possible?
Not
or am I
really.
just speaking?
No, that's a great question.
Yeah.
But the difference is, when you look at a pregnant woman,
yeah.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, she's exhausted
yeah.
at any phase, particularly in the first or third trimester.
Yeah.
That's when the fatigue is the worst, or the nausea.
Yeah.
Particularly in the third trimester too. The baby's grown, it pushes against your diaphragm, you can't breathe. So even if coughing and like being short of breath is normal,
yeah.
The only thing that would have been abnormal is if she had a fever or something like that.
Got it.
And she did not. But the fatigue was real. and she was just exhausted. So, I mean, if she had like excessive bruising or anything like that during the pregnancy, we would, you know, absolutely have that checked. But it just, there was nothing.
Got it.
So
you found this out?
Yes. And so we were just devastated.
Yeah.
Hodgkin's had a 96% cure rate at that time.
Yeah.
So
does it still, by the way?
Now it's like 99.9.
Okay, got it.
I mean, it's even better than it ever was.
So wow, 96. Okay.
Yeah. So we got her treated, and the doctors were like, if you had to have a cancer, this was the cancer to have, and you know, Hodgkin's is highly curable. Prognosis is great. Did the first round of chemo, the standard of therapy. 6 weeks later, started with the night sweats again. So it
came back aggressive.
Got
6 weeks. Very rare, right? For it to be like that?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, absolutely. So then they tried another round of different chemo agent. Same thing, like 6 weeks, you know. So this kind of went, well, let's try this and let's try that. She had a stem cell transplant that failed. And then fast forward, she had a bone marrow transplant. And the
hardest,
sort
of a 2, 3, 4 year process?
So two total.
Got it.
2.5.
Got it.
But during that process was crazy. And the hardest part for me to swallow during all of that is the HLA, which is, you know, the organization that matches people for bone marrow.
Yeah.
They weren't very, at the time, very supportive in trying to get donor matches for people the way they are today. Okay. So today everything's like entered into a database. So I'm going back to 1999. So, you know,
so it's much more systematized.
It's so much more sophisticated now. But back then it was like we were trying, I mean, AOL just came out, like computers. No one had real cell phones that you could, you know, text each other. All that technology was just coming out. So we basically had to do it by flyers, like getting people to match. Got it. Or to go get tested.
And it was all local. It wasn't like you were checking people in Texas, right?
Yeah, no, it was all local because, you know, that's the ideal situation. But we did have friends in Florida. They all went and got tested too. So I was not a match for my sister, which was really upsetting to me. And I'm still in the bone marrow registry because if I am a match for somebody, I thought for sure they would have called me by now. I'm like, what's wrong with my bone marrow? How come I'm not a match? They did call me one time and then it didn't work. But I think a lot of it's not as common as we would think.
Now, were you married at this time?
No.
Okay, no. So you were devoted to your sister, the baby, your family.
I was still living at home.
Got it. So you were in the grind every day.
Absolutely.
Every day.
In fact, I graduated with my BSN the same year my sister passed away.
Got it.
A couple months before that, and I didn't even know I graduated. I was sitting in class in the fall thinking I had to take more classes, and they're like, you graduated in June. I was like, oh, okay. I knew I wasn't going to the ceremony because there was just too much going on. Yeah. I was like, can you mail me my certificate?
What month did she pass away?
October 29th in 2000.
And you graduated in June?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how crazy
that's
it was.
That's how tough it was.
It was
that's the perspective. Yeah. Unbelievable.
So
thank you for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the hard part, like I said, was, you know, finding the match. My cousin was a match.
Yep.
So she was a 5 out of 6 match. I was a 4 out of 6 match. So she did Sarah Puglia, who is my first cousin.
Yep.
And forever grateful to her. I love you, Sarah. For, you know, taking that opportunity. You know, the risk for somebody as a donor is obviously infection or things like that could happen.
What is the risk? I didn't.
Yeah, for bone marrow transplant, it's a very low risk for the donor themselves to, you know, they get an incision through the hip bone and then they take out the bone marrow.
It's painful too, right?
It's a little painful for the person donating. And I would definitely say, you know, the risk of bleeding or infection, as with any, you know, invasive or surgical procedure.
When I was in 3rd grade, I had a blood disorder, but they thought it was leukemia. So they did a bone marrow on me. I'll never forget. To this day, it's still in my nervous system, that pain.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it's a pain that you will not forget.
Yeah, but I had a blood. It turned out to be it wasn't leukemia. It was a blood disorder.
Right.
But they thought it was based on that I kept getting sick and, you know.
How are you now?
Good. I'm Big Sugar.
I mean, you look great.
They call me Big Sugar.
Yeah, and you got nice coloring over here.
Big Sugar. My name is Big Sugar.
Tell me about Big Sugar.
It's just at the beach club. I ate a lot of candy and slushes and stuff like that. And I said that big chair. And they said, look at Big Sugar over there sitting in a chair.
Oh my God, how cute. That's so funny.
That's my nickname.
I thought it was
Ambassador of Results too. That's my other nickname. I made that one up for myself though.
You guys didn't have anything to do with that. I thought you were going to say Big Sugar too because you were so sweet.
No.
No, you're not.
I am sweet though,
I mean,
but
you
not.
are.
But that, that's.
Yeah.
It's the candy side.
It's the candy.
No doubt about it.
I gotcha.
And it's definitely not like the big sugar daddy either, because some people think that.
Well, that was the next
so we
question that was coming
we always
up.
want to eliminate that.
Mm-hmm. Like sugar daddy.
No sugar daddy.
Okay.
Just an average guy over here.
So
thank you for sharing that.
I don't think you're an average guy, by the way.
Thank you.
You know, because all of this is wonderful.
I appreciate it.
You know, very successful.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So your sister passes away.
Yes.
Is your purpose in life changed? Is it adjusted? Is there, something new now that happened as a result of?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would absolutely say that my life changed forever when she passed away. Yep. It's not natural for a parent to lose a child. And she was a baby. She was 26 and she just had a baby. Yeah. So it was really.
And you guys were raising the baby, right?
At this point, yes. But her dad was always in the picture, absolutely. And he took over and later remarried. But Francesca lived with us while Judy was sick too.
Yep.
So, and, Scott lived with us for a little while. So after my sister passed away, he moved on and married and had 2 other beautiful girls. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, Brianna and Olivia.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So tell me what happens next.
So at that point, my mom probably needed, treatment as far as like her anxiety and depression and
she didn't even know it, right?
No.
Yeah.
And what she did with me was not only, so now I have really strict parents, but she like smothered me.
Got it.
In a positive way, but she was like, calling my phone at this point, like, call me when you get there, that kind of stuff. She was an absolute maniac over everything. So
did that last?
It did. We were like oil and water for a while.
Got it.
It actually like was hurting our relationship because she just wasn't in a good place.
But how did you move on?
So you don't ever really move on from that. It's always like a pit in
every
my
day
stomach.
It's there.
Yeah. Every day.
Yep.
Because you expect to lose your parents at some point, but to lose a sibling that you're so close to, and we were best friends. We did everything together. We lived together and we had fun together and had all my memories with her. It's just so different because after your parents pass away, the vision is that your sister and her family, our families would do holidays together and stuff like that. And we would be there for each other during that time. And
my sister passed away 5 years ago. It was an overdose, but she did pass away. She was older than me, 8 years, looked up to her.
Right.
There was a time where she was sober.
Right.
Very good time in her life. But it's not the same connection that you're talking about, but I do understand it's every day it's,
it's a
you
loss.
Think about it.
It is. It's a loss. And, her process was different than my sister's process. But at the end of the day, they're both diseases that, one is controlled differently than another. But that changed my life. It changed my niece's life forever. Yeah. And even now my niece wears all her jewelry and she has a connection to her that's very special. And she'll ask, what
she wants to know who she is.
Yes. What did
is there any old videos or anything like VHS?
There are, yeah. Good. And we did watch them a few years ago, but we have to like rehash them as she keeps getting older, so she can really see it and appreciate it.
That's good though.
She was a singer in a band, my sister. Wow. So she was like this cute little pharmacist, like all preppy, not preppy. She wasn't preppy, but
God forbid if she was preppy. She was not preppy. Philly, that doesn't work.
She looked preppy because she had shorter hair.
I don't know if that works. Italian and preppy? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like an oxymoron. She appeared preppy because, she had like the shorter hair.
I got it.
So she has.
That was a sign of the times.
Yes. Yeah. And she had plus she had the shorter hair because of the chemo.
Oh, this was during that time?
Yes.
Okay,
so she was trying to work and things like that. And then.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
she didn't just stay home. She
pushed through.
She was living life.
Working. She was living life.
Good.
When she was sick, she was home for a few weeks and things like that.
Got it.
But then one day she shaved her entire head.
Yeah.
And she looked, when I tell you, stunning, gorgeous. I am not even kidding you. So we went to Rock Lobster for my birthday. And like back in the day, what's her name? Sinead O'Connor.
I was going to say, did she look like Sinead O'Connor? That's what I was going to ask you.
Gorgeous. Yeah. The guys were like all over her. Yeah. And like, I don't know if they knew she was sick or not. It didn't matter. Yeah. They were just like, this girl's beautiful. Yeah. So I'll have to show you a picture when we're done.
Yeah.
But, and she's just free-spirited, sang in a band. So she would have like combat boots on.
What kind of music? What was her
rock.
style?
She would do, all different like Alanis Morissette.
Cover bit, yep.
Yeah, she was awesome.
That's great.
And so those videos Francesca gets to watch and kind of enjoy.
Does she like it?
Yeah, it's hard. It is. It's really hard because Francesca had a wonderful upbringing and a great life.
Sure.
And opportunity she went to college. She's in financial planning. Actually, she's an analyst for PFM.
Wow.
So she's really, really like accomplished and has been working there, independent, making money. I'm so proud of her. She's smart as a whip. She's traveled all over the place. She studied in Italy. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like,
amazing.
I could never get to Italy when I was young. And here she's like jumping out of airplanes. She was like hanging off a cliff. If I show you her Instagram, you're going to crack up.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. So she has like my sister's spirit in her for sure, but she's like more grounded, like, I think.
It's the Irish side.
Yes, right. Exactly. Well, that's the drinking part of her.
I'm just kidding.
My sister drank like an Irish woman. Trust me.
Well,
she was a ball. She was a ball. That was part of the issue with her. She drank a lot.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah.
Was she undefeated?
Undefeated?
In fights?
Oh, yes.
Like, not even close?
Like, not even close.
Got it.
Like, my poor parents at, I think she was like 9 or 10, this girl was starting with her on the street, and she ran into the house and shut the door.
The girl?
Yeah.
Your house or?
No, her own house. So my sister knocked on the door and the girl didn't answer. She was afraid to come out. So my sister kicked the door in.
Wow.
Okay. Open up the door. So today they get you on trespassing. There's so many rules
because
today.
of video cameras.
Yeah. And pulled her out by her hair on the front lawn.
And
say, if you're going to start, finish it.
Yeah. Don't run away.
So it was bad.
Yeah.
It was like that kind of stuff. So she probably needed some anger management and, a little bit like now in 2022.
They would say she has ADHD.
Yeah, they would have tried to put her on something.
Got it. Understood.
Aggressive behavior disorder and all this other jazz.
Because God forbid if she would go against status quo and be disruptive.
Yeah, she was totally disruptive.
To make changes and make the world a better place.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
So now
that's how that was.
You have a thriving, multiple businesses. If we could talk a little bit about Synergy Business, what that is, what that means to you.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of work with the NFL.
Yes.
I know you have something coming up on September 7th or 12th?
The 12th, our golf outing.
September 12th on the golf outing. But let's talk a little, tell me tell me what's going on with those 2-1-2s.
Yeah.
And how they're interchangeable, including your radio. You have a radio show on weekends?
I do.
Yeah.
Not on the weekends, though. Not on the weekends. It's like during the week.
Whenever it is.
Yes. So
and how they could find you, by the way.
You guys will always find me, I promise. So basically, to fill in the gap, just so you know, so after my sister passed away, my parents, very upset. My father, his health started to decline, and then he became a recipient of a heart transplant.
Wow.
So this is like, my sister passed away. And the reason why I'm filling in on this, because
how many years?
Leads up. 3.
Oh, man.
Yes. So that was in 2000 when she passed. 2003, he went in and got transplanted. So my mom was like off her rocker. She's like, we lost my sister.
The whole world changed.
Yes. Yeah. And her younger sister passed away suddenly of a heart attack at 47, my aunt. So there was too many things happening at once. My father goes in, had a successful heart transplant, which was amazing back then.
Because it was at the beginning.
We left him. He was in the OR.
Yeah.
Comes out. He was on an event, like, as expected.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you should go home and go get showered and all that kind of stuff. And we go home, we get ourselves together, we come back, and he's like already advanced to like pancakes. He's like sitting up. He's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like I did not think that was even possible.
Yeah.
So he did very well. Of course, got infections. He was diabetic, back and forth, and et cetera. But I'm telling you this because I became now an advocate for transplant, bone marrow transplant, and solid organ transplant. So this is how I became very passionate about
and that hasn't
teaching
changed,
people
right?
that it hasn't changed. No. Sitting in that room waiting for a heart transplant, I'm like, they're going to take his heart out of his chest, put it on the table, and put a new one in.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was a false
Pretty
alarm.
Scary.
It was. There was a false alarm on Easter that same year in 2003.
With a separate heart?
With another heart.
Yeah.
They brought him to the OR, just about to open him up, and the damn thing died. So I was like, thank God that didn't work out real good. Because can you imagine?
But how many times does that happen? Where they open somebody up in the heart, right?
Yeah, well, thank God they didn't open him.
No, but I'm talking about other people.
Oh, it does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And it's hard to imagine that a heart would stop working electrically and how they preserve it. It's pure magic to me.
It really is.
So we sat in the waiting room with the same family, another family who was waiting for the lungs of the same patient who was the donor, who passed away in a car accident.
Thank God for that patient, huh?
I know. And she was 36 years old. She died in a car accident. She was an organ donor, which I am so passionate about, you know, for the gift of life. So if you're not an organ donor, make sure you do. You do it at your DMV. And just get on the list, because the thing is that, you know, God forbid, I hate to sound so morbid, but if you do pass away, you have these vital, beautiful organs that you can live on in someone else. So it's giving someone an opportunity. Yeah. So my father lived and survived 11 years with this new heart. Funny thing is, all of a sudden he became interested in shoe shopping. We were cracking up. My father never ever went to a store for clothes or shoes. And this was
so he took on that person's.
They say you take on their
essence,
right? Their persona. There's something about that is so. That's so
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, so that was you know, back in 2003.
Can organs be male, female? Like, does it matter, or does that be male on male?
It's more of a size thing.
Okay, got it.
So you know, like if you're a really big guy, and you know, and the same thing. Like pediatrics is different.
Got it.
You know, it has to be appropriate. And that's when I started to do things with the gift of life, I met my little angel, Ariana, who was transplanted 6 weeks. So
as Marla has been sharing about a 6-week transplant, if you could kind of dig into, you know, tell us a little bit about Ariana.
Absolutely. So
and part of your journey on, you know.
Yeah. So one of the things I did that inspired me as far as organ transplant was someone had suggested I should do a pageant. Okay. And I'm not a pageant girl. You know, I just I was never into like the whole like frilly things, and you see all that crazy stuff.
Yes, where they got makeup on and they're like 7 years old.
I was never really turned on by pageantry, but someone said if you really want to get people interested in organ transplant and donating, you should do a platform or participate in a platform that's a little bit bigger so that you can reach more people.
Yep.
So he said, why don't you try out for Mrs. New Jersey? I said, well,
you live in Jersey now at this
yes,
point.
I'm in Jersey. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm fast forwarding recently.
Yeah.
This is like recent.
Yep.
So like 2017.
Got it.
And, you know, because I was doing all these different things with the gift of life and, you know, so I went to the New Jersey state pageant and I won. I didn't even expect to win. So I went in. So I was Mrs. New Jersey in 2017.
Awesome.
Competed. Thank you.
Awesome. When you win something like that, what happens? Like, what do they offer? Like, is there like, you know, opportunities to do other things? Yeah.
There's a lot.
Foundation.
You know, you do a lot of public appearances. But basically,
is that when you learned how to be a public speaker, or did you already know how to do that?
No, I already knew how to do that.
Okay.
But for me, did
that elevate your business though? Like,
not necessarily. Okay. Not necessarily. It elevated my message.
Beautiful.
For organ donation.
Got it.
And try to get people, and that was what my passion was.
That's awesome.
So, but it didn't hurt my business. I mean, people are like, that's so super cool. Like, tell me about the U.S.A. It was called U.S.A. Ambassador. So then once you win the state title, then you move on to the national title.
Got it.
I went to Tampa and I won that title.
Did you really? You're a national champ?
I was U.S.A. ambassador.
You were national like champ?
Yes.
Like you won the national championship?
I won the whole thing.
Whether it's like football, basketball, or beauty pageants?
Yes.
That's tremendous.
Correct. So you want to hear something?
I didn't know that. Congratulations. Wow.
Too often.
National champ 2017. Are you kidding me? Wow.
So you want to hear something really cool?
I can't wait.
So I go over to this woman, Cheryl Schreier, who I absolutely love. She's kicked butt. She was a nurse. She was the U.S.A. ambassador prior to me the year before.
Got it.
So she crowns me as U.S.A. ambassador.
Yep.
Fast forward 2 years ago, her daughter became Miss America, who was also a U.S.A. ambassador. So it's pretty cool. So it's like one big family. But anyway, and she's wonderful too, Cheryl.
Dude, this is
and
awesome.
Camille is her daughter, who was Miss America.
Just recently?
Just recently, yes. Like just the changeover.
Did you go to Miss Universe too?
No.
Did you say?
It was a lot of time, and I had 2 small children, 2 at the time. You know, because now my kids are 9 and 11, so they were like 5 and 6-ish.
Was it like intense though as you were getting closer? Like, was there? Like,
there was a lot of training.
There was. See, that's what.
Yes.
They don't know that.
No, there's a lot of training that gets involved. There's a lot of prep for pageantry. It's a wonderful, wonderful world. It's nothing like it used to be years ago, where they, you know, cut a hole in your dress, and you know, now it's all about charity-based efforts.
That's awesome.
And that's what drew me to this pageant system, because Miss America cuts off at 26.
Yeah.
So what do you do after 26 if you want to be involved in the community? You get involved and you go out there and you find these opportunities. This particular opportunity I didn't know about. Someone had called me and said, I think you should try this. You should do this. So that's how I still had to compete and win.
That's so awesome.
But, you know, you're really putting yourself out there. So
yeah, no doubt about it.
Public speaking.
Like, yeah.
It's interview.
Yeah.
It's like gown. You don't have to wear a bathing suit. So they nixed all that.
That's cool.
You know, it's different. They don't care what your body looks like.
Yeah.
Which is great, you know, that nobody had to feel like they were,
yeah.
you know, because
and I think that's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I do
you know
too.
What I mean?
Because
like, I really, you know,
these women that I was competing against were monsters. Like they were fantastic, just so well rounded. And because they can't wear a bikini, they can't represent a title like that. Is crazy.
Yes.
So there were some amazing women. I met some best friends from that organization.
Do they have something like this for men? Especially if you don't have to worry about bathing suits. I'm all in.
They do.
Can we get something like dad bods?
Yeah. Well, you know, the way today is going, you know, you're going to have some guys in some of these pageants, but that's a topic for another time, Rob.
That's on your side. That's good.
That's a topic for another time. So anyway, that's how I met Ariana, beautiful Ariana. So you know, I became a mentor for her, and she became a mentor for me.
Yeah,
you know,
that's really what happened.
Fantastic.
You learn more from her, right?
Talk to her and her grandmom all the time.
Yeah.
So fast forward a little bit back. One thing I didn't mention was I was a Philadelphia Eagles cheerleader.
Yes. Yes.
From 1996.
Klaus likes that.
Are you an Eagles fan or just?
No, he just likes the fact that you were a cheerleader. Oh. He could care less about the Eagles. He just can't believe that you were, like, among all these other great things, that you were a cheerleader. That's, am I right?
But listen, by the Yankees gear and the blue shirt, is it Giants?
I'm a Steeler fan.
Steeler?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
I am. My whole life.
How did that happen?
I grew up a long time ago. And when I first grew up, they were big in the 70s.
I say that like it's like a bad thing. How did that happen?
Because you're an Eagles fan, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So in the 70s, my brother was older brother. He was a Raiders fan, and the Giants weren't any good, but the Steelers were really good.
Yeah.
So that's how I became a Steelers fan.
Always good.
Yeah. But you guys just won a Super Bowl recently.
Yeah, not too long ago.
As a cheerleader, is it like an alumni? Is there like advantages you guys have even now?
Yes.
Like, awesome.
So during the time I was, you know, we're going to pick up the happiness of this whole interview. Sure. Of course, it was very dismal when my sister was sick. But
well, everybody out there though, thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah.
What happens is life, right? Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm hearing over and over again with Marla is she was still living life, whether it was in nursing school. Even after nursing school, she's digging into where she was a cheerleader for the Eagles, like living the life the best way she can under some wild circumstances. And that's for everybody out there. That's what it's about. It's about really being able 100%. To still take it one day at a time.
Absolutely. And as an Eagles cheerleader, we did a lot of community events too.
So this is normal for you.
This is normal.
Yeah.
Like I love being out in the community, helping people.
Yeah.
We do so many charity events a year as an Eagles cheerleader. We're more active off the field than on the field.
Wow.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Nope,
they
don't.
20 to 40 appearances a year.
That's awesome.
That are community based and charity.
That's awesome.
So this just kind of tied into everything with the U.S.A. ambassador.
So that was like a good stepping stone. Like you knew, hey, this gave you like a little bit of an idea what this would be like, and let me just kind of mirror and model what I did here, except elevate the game.
Right. Yeah, it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
So after I did go to the Pro Bowl too in '99.
Did you really?
I did.
Now you went because of your cheerleading team was better than the other ones, or you just went to the Pro Bowl?
They picked one girl.
Oh, they invited you.
They picked one girl, which I was honored.
If you don't mind me asking.
Yes.
Did football players always try and date you?
My God, he went right in, didn't he?
I mean,
yes.
You know,
the answer to your question, yes. So we had a rule.
It's a normal.
It totally is. Yeah. Everybody asks that question. So, but real quick on the Pro Bowl, I was the only Eagle that went. Philadelphia Eagle cheerleader.
None of the players.
None of the players got it. All right. So that's my fame. That's my claim to fame. So that was a blast. But in answer to your question, men will be men.
Yeah.
So you know,
understood.
Of course, there's all these beautiful women, and you know, everybody's like I would say, 20 to 28.
Sure.
You know, somewhere in
players and cheerleaders.
Players and cheerleaders, and we're all in these groups of parties together, appearances together. You know, we could be sitting like this for hours with a player.
You get to talk to somebody.
You do, and you know, you got to connect. Now, the players did not have the same rules that we did.
Meaning you couldn't.
We could.
But they were like.
But if they did, they're not going to get rid of McNabb because he hit on somebody.
Different rules.
Yes. So the answer to your question, yes. So we never fraternized with the players. The girls that did were just asked to leave.
And was it like a line in the sand? Like, you know,
yes.
Okay, got it.
Like line in the sand. My director and choreographer was Marla Viturello. She is like the boss of Eagles cheerleader. She's been there forever. And then she had retired from that position. I retired in 2002.
How long did you, 6 years?
6 years.
Got it.
I was captain of the team.
Wow.
Great experience. One of the best years of my life.
All home games though, right? Plus appearances.
Yes.
Got
yes.
it. Yep.
Aside from my sister's passing. But my team really helped me get through that.
I could imagine.
I'll never forget, like even for my sister's viewing, we had a practice right before the Dallas game. And that's like the Monday Night Football game. Everybody has to be perfect. Every single one of my 36 teammates showed up at my sister's funeral. So, and
how crazy are the Eagles fans?
It's insanity.
Like everything is true that they say?
Everything is true times 10.
Really? It's even worse.
It is.
Like you'll get beat up if you have a jersey on that's not an Eagle jersey?
That's true. Yeah.
Like that happens all the time, right?
Like I haven't brought my kids yet to an Eagles game.
That's how bad it is,
That's how bad. But it's cleaned up a little bit since we've had, the changeover from Veterans Stadium to Lincoln Financial Field.
Yeah. It's a nice
definitely
stadium.
Better. Beautiful stadium. But it's a little rough.
Yeah.
It's a little
rough. Is there like a courthouse or something? They say there's a courthouse in the stadium?
So, in the vet, they had the downstairs where holding cell, I like to call it.
A holding cell. Klaus would have been in the holding cell.
We were not allowed up into, so we used to go up and visit I hate to say we visited the penthouse suites because it makes it sound like trashy. That's not what we did. We went up and we had calendars, we signed autographs, took pictures up in the boxes, the business boxes.
Pre-game, post-game?
All the way up to the halftime.
Got it.
Because then even, everybody was bombed at that point. Yeah. We couldn't go up. It's like the bleacher seats at Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium. Right?
Bleacher creature.
Yeah. So imagine those bleacher seats are now the 700 level in Vet Stadium.
Yes.
So you stay away from that.
Yes. It's like danger.
Yeah. So definitely.
It's like
stranger danger.
Just don't go there.
Like we would have cops that would escort us if we were still upstairs and they, held because they're gropers. Like they're just like some people are just so disrespectful.
Yeah.
So we didn't go up after halftime. Fast forward. Wonderful experience. 2002 was my last year. And then all of a sudden, John Bon Jovi is coming to Philly and he's opening up an arena football team called the Philadelphia Soul.
Okay.
So I wanted to coach and become not of the football team, but of the dance team.
Yeah.
So I worked for Bon Jovi for 6 years.
You really?
As the
listen to this heroic, unique identity. This is incredible.
In fact, I listened to Bon Jovi.
Listen to your stories
because I was like heading up north. I'm like, how to get in my mode.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So it was really cool.
Was he fun to work with?
Yeah, he's a blast.
Awesome.
He was great.
He lives around. He has a house around. I think he does, at least in Rumson, right, or Coltsneck.
Yeah. So it was an amazing experience. So 2003, he opened up the arena football team. Ron Jaworski was also an owner.
Was it like the worst business decision he ever made in his life, though?
Well, the Arena League was just weak financially.
Yeah.
But it was the perfect place to bring your family.
But it was the worst business decision he ever made, though, right?
I don't know.
I'm just totally teasing.
I mean, he got to meet me, so I guess that must have been a really
good
business
it was a very good decision.
But yeah, so again, recreated a family. Some of my girls from the NFL came over. When I tell you 6 years,
I get the sense you create like a really good friendship. You create relationship capital. We call it. We call it then connective tissue.
Yes.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Like just hearing what you're saying, I sense that's that's your world as it is now.
So this is how I look at things in life.
Yeah.
Whatever you do in life, whatever your passion is, if you could tie that into your work or do something productive or that impacts people and inspire, like you do, number one, grow closer to people because you have similar beliefs that you are working together for a common cause.
Absolutely.
They become family.
Yeah.
And some of these girls, like now that I coached, going back to 2003, it's almost 20 years ago.
Yep.
Like I'm seeing their kids, they're coming over my house with their kids and having coffee and drinks. And
awesome.
like some of them weren't even, they were 18 or older, but some weren't of the drinking age, back then So we won the Arena Bowl.
Did you really?
In 2008.
Any great players that made it to the NFL from that team?
A lot of them went kind of back and forth.
Got it.
So, because the percentage of NFL players is so small.
Yeah.
So they would play, in a half field in the Arena League, and it was just as
awesome.
Excitement. Have you ever been to an arena
I have,
game?
no.
It's insanity.
But that's what happened with Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner that eventually became the quarterback of the Rams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they would basically like catch a ball and they wind up on your lap. Like it's like, that insanity.
There was no out of bounds.
Yeah. And there's no sideline.
So
you're in an arena. So
crazy watch some of the clips.
Yeah. So my team had it. So now this was way more stressful than an NFL game.
Yes.
Like when I was a captain, all I had to do was like watch the clock, look at my coach, know when to go out. Because if you crossed the line on the field goal, you got like fined thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Like tens of thousands of dollars. If a cheerleader was on in the
NFL.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the clock didn't tick or beat.
Yeah, because you're in the game. Yep.
For the Arena League, the girls are actually in the end zone while the players are going the opposite direction. If there's an interception, they're screwed.
Yeah.
They are screwed. So they really have to get off of the field, open up the gates, and get these girls out. And it's happened a few times where like the players come, they don't care. The players aren't going to stop for the cheerleaders. Yeah. So you really have to pay attention in the arena field.
Awesome. So wait, Arena Football Championship, Eagle Cheerleader, everything,
Yes.
synergy,
Yes.
Community service, giving, contributing, having a why, that makes you, gives you leverage every day to really help make the world a better place. Is that what led to synergy and the NFL at the same time because of both of those relationships? Or
that's a great question. So I continued on with my NFL community events, and I am currently the NFL sponsorship chair for the alumni. So
explain that real simple to all of us.
Yeah. So we are the Philadelphia chapter for NFL alumni. Our platform is caring for kids. So this is what we do. And not just children, but we service all different communities in need and different charities. And we go out and we, vet out different corporations and, ask them to contribute. We have a golf outing that we do every year, September 12th at Running Deer, Ron Jaworski's Running Deer course. It's a beautiful course. Come out and join us. And
can I ask you a question? As far as the NFL players that retire,
yes,
does this help them as well? Because I know financially sometimes
absolutely
those folks struggle. They didn't get their second job, another job out of it, and
that's right.
Maybe the money has been spent inappropriately during their career.
100%, and that actually happens a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
So this is a post NFL cultivating type of community. So, there's medical, there's dental, there's different financial opportunities for these guys to get in.
Beautiful.
And different experiences for them as well so that they can, revamp the second half of their life. Because, once you leave the NFL, aside from Brady,
he's the
did he come back again?
He is.
He is 100%.
He's coming back. We don't know where he landed per se yet, but he's definitely coming back. He's not coming back.
His feet.
Yeah.
The guy's like a cat, no matter what he does.
They think he might go to Miami, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, but he's already got the coach fired from the Tampa Bay. So I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do.
Huh. That's interesting. Well, he always has Giselle, right? So
yes,
he's a winner at the end of the day.
Did you ever meet Tom Brady, through any of your?
No, I never met Tom Brady.
Did you go to the Super Bowl when they beat the Patriots?
I was not there.
Okay,
I was not there at the time.
Got it. That must have been so much fun for those Philly fans.
I know. The girls went. The cheerleaders go.
Yeah, that's great.
But if it's not during your era of cheering, you just.
So every day is your world synergy?
Yeah.
Is that
so that is my business,
and what
Synergy
is that?
Pharmacy. So what we do is, so it kind of ties in. I told you I was a nurse.
Yeah.
We talked about that. So
now, are you still an RN?
I still am an RN.
Awesome.
Yes. And I keep up with all my credentials and my licensures in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania and New Jersey. What we do is we have a pharmacy that services patients that were hurt at work.
Okay.
So it's a workers' compensation case.
Got it.
And also for personal injury in New Jersey, if you were in a car accident, God forbid, knock on wood, and you needed medication, your insurance company is going to fight you tooth and nail.
Yes.
So what we do is we provide those medications for you so
really?
that you can actually get better and heal.
And then you go fight the insurance company?
We'll fight the insurance company. We team up with your attorney. We work together with your doctor.
Oh, dude.
And this is what we do. Because CVS and the other retail stores, they don't help people. And the insurance companies just give you the runaround.
So my partner, which I think would be perfect for you in this space, other spaces, there's other things that we could get into, but he owns a law firm in New Jersey that is the number one revenue recovery law firm in New Jersey for doctors recovering revenue in a way you're talking about right now.
Right, yeah.
They've recovered, they're the best. So I think that could be a good conversation privately for you to have with people over there.
Absolutely.
Because he's in New Jersey, so I don't think he's in Pennsylvania, but he's definitely in New Jersey.
We might work with him, who knows? But so what we do is we go out and, we network with different attorney groups and doctor groups for the benefit of the patient.
Now, is this what your radio show is with the doctor groups?
Yeah, so that's a great
so
point.
Awesome.
So my radio show is on a couple times a month. It's called the Pro to Pro Hour. It's on 860 WWDB.
Can we hear that in New Jersey too? Is that like on Sirius?
Anybody can get it. You can get it right on the internet. You can listen live.
Okay.
So if you go to www.db.com.
Got it.
And it'll say listen live, and we're on Thursday mornings at 10, the second and fourth Thursday.
Wow.
Of the month.
And who do you typically interview?
Doctors and attorneys in our field.
The whole time?
Yeah.
Is that,
yeah,
wow,
that's it. I mean,
that's
sometimes
awesome.
we change it up a little bit. You know, we'll talk about something like completely unrelated to the PI world, but it's an instrument of information for people to listen.
Sure.
And sometimes we take the calls in and people are like, oh, well, I just assumed I couldn't get my medication, or I assumed that a doctor wouldn't see me because they denied my work injury, or they denied that I was really hurt in this auto accident.
Yes.
And it's very sad what insurance companies do to people,
Yeah.
and the way they limit care and dictate care. So,
Yeah.
and that goes across even on the commercial side.
Yeah.
So our job is to be advocates for the patient. I feel like somebody's like hugging me here. I'm like, you know,
your sister.
somebody's like, either
That's
that
your sister.
Or, yes, it is.
That's your sister.
Well, if it was her, it would be a headlock. So
No,
maybe
not
that's
no
what it is.
more.
Yeah.
The earlier version, she's proud of everything you got going on right now.
Oh, well, I
She's
love
a big
you, sir.
fan.
Thank you.
I could tell.
Yes. So, you know, so that's basically what we do. So, you know, check us out at synergyscripts.com.
Amazing.
And we're happy to help you.
So where do you see yourself for the next 5 or 10 years? What does it look like?
On a beach in Miami? No. 5 to 10 years, I think.
All the stuff that you're doing.
Yeah. I'm going to dedicate more of my personal time to more of the charitable work. Right now, I'm trying to rev up my business so that, you know, financially I'm positioned in a good situation where, you know, nobody wants to live in their later years, you know, working till the bitter end or having financial issues. Knock on wood, you know, we're a solid company and, you know, I have a great team and all those things. But you always have to plan for the future, which is the business that you're in every day. And you see this. You know, so what I would like to do in 5 years is hopefully looking for more of a retirement in, you know, maybe 5 to 7 or 8 years.
Yep.
I'm also not one of those people that can sit home.
Sure.
I'll golf a little bit and, you know, I'll work out the gym. Oh, I do. I teach a body burn class too.
Definitely do.
Yeah,
I'm not confused about it.
Yeah.
None of this is confusing to me at this point.
I do work out regularly.
I believe that.
You know, and part of that is I don't believe that anyone in life should just do the 9-to-5 job, come home, and be done. Because
listen, folks,
it's really, and God bless you that you're getting out 9 to 5, because then the stay-at-home moms, and no offense, I love my stay-at-home moms and people, because I think they have the hardest job ever.
They do. They're domestic engineers.
Yes.
I say it all the time.
But you lose something.
You do.
When you repeat and you don't evolve, you lose part of you.
Yeah.
And it's very sad and very depressing when I see women later in their life and they're just so
and you can
demoralized
see it on the face.
and like defeated. Yeah. So you should always do something from a financial perspective, diversify, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And also from your own perspective, diversify.
Yeah.
You know, get involved with a book club, get involved with a wine tasting group or something that defines you a little bit more than just cooking and cleaning, right?
Amazing. But listen, let me play with this. Like, where do you really, like, what does it look like? Your legacy, like, what do you, I mean, you really want to help people. Right?
I do. Yes.
You really want to help people.
Yes.
You love being part of something bigger than yourself that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And
if you were to have it your way, 10 years from now, what does that look like?
Well, I want to get my kids off to college.
Yep.
That's my number one priority, is developing these little humans with good moral compass, athletics,
make good decisions.
and everything, make good decisions. Yep. So I feel like you'll never have your job complete as a parent, as you know, you have teenagers now and all that kind of stuff. Different set of problems as they get older.
Absolutely.
So just be there for my kids and watch them and enjoy their success too.
Yep.
But never forgetting who I am and the things that I can do to show, because I'm a firm believer that you set the example by living it. You know, you could tell me all day, oh, Marla, you should do this with your money, or you should do that. But lead by example.
Love it.
You know, and that's my message. Lead by example. All right? Because I think that's important.
Who are you?
Who am I? That's another, you got great questions. I mean, it's sort of like a cute thing of your, so who am I? I'm a strong woman.
Yep.
I'm a strong woman, emotionally and physically.
Yep.
You know, I do work on the biceps.
You work out, right?
I do. Yeah. You know, but, emotionally and inner strength.
And if we talk about emotional strength, what does that mean?
So I'll put it this way. When I'm in a boardroom and there's 9 men and I'm the 10th person and I'm the only woman in the room, they don't know that I'm a woman. Okay. And I don't mean that disrespectful to women, because there's some guys who are emotional too. And a little bit
I see them every day. Trust me.
So I focus. I keep
every day. I see them.
Right, and it's like. So those people I just kind of shut down.
Yeah.
Because life is too short. So for me, let's focus on the task at hand. Like, let's get through what we have to get through. Let's make a decision. Let's be assertive. You don't have to be aggressive. Be assertive.
Yep.
Because aggressive is somebody who's sometimes intimidating and wants
sure.
to, man the ship. We like leaders, but we don't like dictators.
Yes.
Right?
Understood. 100%. As a woman in a boardroom.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Has in the last 20 years that dynamic changed?
Yes.
In a way that's more fair. And I'm asking your perspective.
100%, yes.
Awesome.
I think it's definitely more welcoming because I've been in my profession in years. And people always respected nurses too, but it was kind of like they looked at us like, like the help, like the hired help, you know, but we're saving lives.
Yes,
and
you are.
I think over the time, doctors had a greater appreciation for nurses and sort of elevated them. And so I saw that on the medical side. In business, I think you have to prove yourself. And one of the last things, being a cheerleader or being a nurse has a little stigma sometimes,
Yeah.
So I don't tell people, you didn't even know
you don't lead with that.
NFL cheerleader.
Yeah, which is good.
Which is a great thing.
That's a smart thing.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
But people still have this old school
They
mentality.
do.
Like,
Absolutely.
oh, she must be an airhead, or she must this, or she must that.
Knows Klaus was excited when he found out you were a cheerleader.
Right, because I had brains and I actually did that,
Yeah.
So so,
but
I'm
I love
proud of that
everything.
background, though.
I love everything you just shared today.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
Unbelievable. And the journey you took me on was incredible.
Yeah, I
I'd love to do
that.
more stuff. I think there's some good synergies.
Yeah.
Thank you. Myself and Ed, we'd love to donate to anything that you have going on.
Thank you. Well, I hope you guys attend our golf outing for sure, for the NFL alumni. That's super fun. Come down. You guys can stay down there. It's a blast. And it really truly is. So what we do is, we have all the foursomes. We have 18 foursomes. And then we have all the celebrity players. Some will fly in.
Awesome.
Some, are from the area that played for different teams that came back to Philadelphia or New Jersey. And then we pair up those celebrities with your
players.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
And the funniest part is some of these guys are not golf players.
You're talking about the players or the
the football players are not. Well, some of the corporate guys are not either.
They're definitely
just
not.
there to drink and have fun
with the football player
or with the golf cart.
And ask the football player a bunch of questions. Hey, what happened in this game? What happened in that game?
But the players, it's funny because it might be the sport that they don't have that much expertise in. Like,
so they're human.
They're human, so you can see the softer side of them.
Yes.
And crackle under pressure.
Yes.
You would never do that on a football field, but watch them on a golf course. It's hilarious.
Yes. Do you actually play golf yourself?
I do. I just started last year, like really playing and taking lessons.
Awesome.
And from what I hear, I'm not too bad. But I always would kind of stay back at the clubhouse and get things prepped. And we would have like a big dinner and a banquet when the guys came back.
You meet everybody after
I'm like, and then we have a drink together and everybody's having a great time.
It's like me, when people go skiing, I'll meet you at the lounge. I'm not going to ski.
Right. But, what I've done in recent years is actually get in the golf cart and
drive a little.
Razz people.
Yeah.
And, we have like a long shot guy who stays at one of the holes.
Yes.
We hustle him and say, can you make it, further out than him? And then next thing you know, it's like an $11,000 hole that we just raised for children's charity.
There you go.
Right. So that's what we do. And these guys love it. They love it. They're like, it's a competition for them.
Well, listen, I can't thank you enough for coming in today.
Thank you.
And for being here. This was a great, we don't typically do them on Thursdays. This was awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you.
This was so good. And Nick Cicero, thank you so much, brother.
Yes, Nick, thank you.
Unbelievable. What a great, and once again, I'd love to sit down and build out some other potential philanthropic opportunities or anything we could do.
That would be fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Hug and a kiss to you. Thank you.
Yes. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you very much.